morning. Welcome to Something Saturday. I thought I would show you something a bit different again today because, you know, Something Saturday, I just seem to do something different each time. And this time it was something that I thought I'd seen it somewhere on the internet. And then I obviously haven't got it right because mine didn't turn out anything like what theirs had, so I just made the most of it and I quite like what I did in the end, so I thought I'd show you it anyway. Okay, I'm going to switch us round and show you. So let me attach us onto here. Okay, nearly there. Come on. Amazing. You move it a little bit and it doesn't want to move at all, and then that'll do. All right. So this is the card. So it does stand up like that. And I'm sure I saw something where they'd done that, but it didn't end up looking like this. So I'm not quite sure where I went wrong with it, but in the end, I think I kind of like it. So I'll show you a couple of other ones that I made first of all because I was kind of experimenting with it. So the first one I had to go at was this one. And it's fine with the back, but then you kind of end up with the cameras on a bit of an angle with the front. Plus the fact I ended up with a bit of a hole in the side, so then I had to add bits onto the side of it, but you do have places to write in it. So you still see the cameras, and you have places to write there. So that was the first one that I made. Then I moved on and thought, oh, now I know what I'll do. I'll do one with a camping scene. Only then I wasn't really thinking about the fact that everything was going to go sideways on it. So then I thought after that, probably better do something that doesn't matter if it's sideways. So hence the fact this one came into being, and I thought that actually is okay because the flowers, it doesn't really matter if they look like they're sideways because you're never quite sure which way up with a pattern like this they actually are meant to go. So how gorgeous is this paper though? So it's got gold foiling in it, and it's actually on the retiring list, so it's been reduced from $26 down to $10.40 for the pack. And you get 12 sheets with 6 different designs, I think it is. Anyway, I am going to move on to using this piece. So some of the sheets have gold foiling on them, not all of them, but the ones that don't are absolutely gorgeous. So, right, to do this, here's my little map. I have taken this, and obviously it comes as a 12 by 12, so it's quite a big one. I have cut it so that I've got the 12 left long, but I've cut it down to my normal card width or height, which would be 14.8 centimetres. So 14.8 centimetres, 12 long. You're then going to score it into thirds. So that's nice and easy when it's 12 inches, it's 4 and 8. And then we're going to add a couple of extra score lines. And we are just going to go ahead and bring the cutter in. Cutter scorer. Paper trimmer, I think that's what it's actually called. So I'm just trying to work out which way round I want it. I quite like the idea of having the gold showing as my main colour in the middle, so I'm going to keep that. So that means I'm going to score it on this side, because you score the side so that it sort of like folds away from the score line, and I definitely don't want my cutter in there. So let's just score that one. And let's bring it down there, turn it round, because then I can just do the 4 inches this way, and we'll score that one. So then you've got one way and the other way. So that'll be my basis of my card. So now I'm going to have it so it folds in one direction. So I want to score from the corner there to there. Let's just pop the glasses back on so I can actually see it properly. There we go, from there to there. So let's see whether I can persuade that to work, and that folds back. Now, when I was looking at it on the internet, I'm sure that's what they did, but they didn't end up with all this extra bit. So there you go. So anyway, this one then needs to be scored in the other direction, so it scores that way. Hang on, am I doing it right? So I want it that way. So in fact, it actually, both of them score in the same direction, which is what I actually show on here. So, you know, I really should just look at my instructions, then I would know. But, you know, who goes by instructions, honestly? There to there, so I've got that point and that point, and my fingers are in the way, and we're just gonna score that down and fold it. So now we should have, excellent, we do have. All right, so then what I've done is I've actually turned it over and drawn those bits on. I actually did this with pencil so I could rub it out. That was really silly. Okay, didn't do that with pencil. Okay, so I'm going to have one side that's going to have a bit extra on it. Good job, Heather. All right, so I would suggest that you open your card out before you cut it, just in case you've got something here and you go swipe and it cuts off like a section of your card, because that would not be terribly good, really, would it? So now we're just going to trim that piece off there, and from there to this corner piece, X, that piece off there. So we've got those two pieces. So now we have it looking like that. Just gonna use my fingernail just to push down. Sometimes when you score it, when you cut, I find that it just lifts the card slightly, so you end up with a little bit of a lip. And if you just run your nail over it, or you know, just even take your bone scorer and just run it over it, you'll find that that will just flatten that edge piece for you. So I'm just going to use my bone scorer just to flatten everything down there. I really like the idea of being able to show both sides of the card stock in this. So which way up do I think this goes? It kind of looks like it ought to go that way. And that's the other good thing with this card, is it actually doesn't matter if you put it up the wrong way round, you know, to begin with, because then you can just decide which way round you want it, and these pieces are going to get added into the middle here just to create a bit of interest. So let's just go ahead and, oh, I'm going to use my silicone mat because I don't really want to get glue all over my background piece. Just make sure that your glue does go into the corners. I'm just going to spread it there and move that out of the way, move this back in. Okay, I'll pop that down like that. There we go. And excuse the fact that I'm now got glue all over my fingers. Good on me. Yay. And let's just do the same with the other piece. So in fact, let's just mop up the glue that's there first of all, shall we? And then add a bit more. So take it right to the edge, because you don't really want it lifting in the corners, so that's the reason for making sure that it's right into the corners. Oh, a bit of glue on my thumb there. And let's just pop that onto there like that. There we go. Oh, now I'm getting glue crumbs everywhere. Ever get glue crumbs everywhere? Sounds weird, but you know, it happens. So we're also going to stick down this part here. So we stick that one down, and Same with this. One thing I will say, when you're using your Tombow, don't keep sitting it upright like that, because you will find that the glue drains right back down to here, which is fine if you want to use this end of it. But if you want to use the pointy end, which is the one that I probably prefer the most to use, it's going to be a bit of a pain, because every time you use it, you'll have to shake it back down again to the pointy end. So just leave it on its side. If you're worried about it sort of dribbling out, then just leave it on its side over top of your silicone sheet. So that's that. So we now have our base card made. And now all we need to do is just add a little bit of white so that we've got something to write on. So I have used white plain card. So obviously if your card is vanilla based, or, you know, a different colour, you know, if you wanted to use yellow or pink or green or whatever it is, then, yeah, pick the appropriate colour is what I'm trying to say, because, you know, it's kind of coming a bit long-winded there. And I have cut mine to 9.5 centimetres by 14 centimetres. So 9.5 this way, 14 that way. Okay, because bear in mind that this is 14.8. So you want it to be slightly smaller. And then you take this and you're going to cut it in half. So we are going to go there and there. So on the diagonal, making sure my fingers aren't in the way, and cut it in half. There we go. So we can now then stick that into there and that into there. So let's just go ahead and do that. So this is the good thing with the silicone mat, is that once your glue has dried slightly, all you do is just literally rub it and the glue comes off. And then you chuck the glue, what I call them earlier, glue crumbs, into the bin. And let's just take that down to the end and up to there. And so then that sits directly down onto there. And as you can see, you just end up with a little gap all the way around it. And a tinsy bit of glue, which I'm just going to use. I have a glue remover, which is this thing, which is very, very old. Stampin' Up used to sell them, and we don't anymore, but I do know if you're going to any craft shows, you can actually pick this sort of thing up. Oh, excuse me. And the other side, so let's just put a bit of glue onto this side as well. There we go. And pop that down onto there with your little gap all the way round. And there you have it. Oddly shaped card. It's probably not going to be the way to market it, I don't think. Probably call it a fancy fold card, because, you know, that's usually what they call cards that are not normal. So an abnormal card, there we go. and as I say, this paper, I'll see if I've got any more of it. Hang on a minute. Here it is. I'll show you some of the other pieces that are in the suite. Or not suite, the papers. So obviously we've just used that one and that one. That one is one of the ones that doesn't have a foil on it, but how gorgeous is the picture on it. Then you've got, oh, that's the same. There's that one, which is this one at the background here. How nice is that? Just love the colour behind that. Hopefully I'm actually showing you this on the page. Yep, that same one. Same one. Oh, that one's different again. So hopefully you can see that beautiful gold foiling in that. I think that might be all of the papers actually. Yeah. So yes, that is called Ornate Garden Designer Series paper, and it's down to $10.40. What a bargain. Okay, well, with that thought in mind, don't forget to, so if you can only buy this if you're in Australia, by the way. Well, you can buy it in England and other countries, but what I'm saying is if you want to purchase through me, you have to be in Australia to purchase through me, because that's one of the Stampin' Up things. What else was I going to tell you? Don't forget to share this, so share the love. And I will be back next Saturday. So I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.